Hi and hello. It feels very strange to be doing one of these videos now that my cat Noki is no longer with us, no longer with me. The main reason I'm so glad I used to do these videos, like for some reason I started doing poetry reading videos after the pandemic started. Well, coming out of the pandemic, because I was doing them mostly as like a replacement for phone calls for one of my friends, and just sort of kept it open and wanted to read. I like to read out loud is a thing. It's just what I like to do. And so I started doing these like life updates and art updates, and I'm really glad that I have some of them because my cat Noki was in them, and I'm wondering if I start doing them again, if any of my other cats are gonna like show up. No, JK. Noki was exceptional, we all know. But yeah, what I think was good about what I did before was that people were using this, they like to be read to. And so I'm just going to read and talk about things I am reading. And so I've had this book for a very long time. It's a graphic novel about postmodernism. And I'm not going to read all of it to you, though I would like to. I'm only going to read part of it. And before I do that, I will mention that I like to read this book. I like to revisit Richard Brautigan from time to time, especially his short story, The Abortion, which is kind of the inspiration for like a business. Well, I don't know, something I want to do. A character in it runs a library for unpublished or self-published work, and it's about a person who's just sort of like on call 24 hours a day to the creative class, and it's just really interesting. And I like Richard Brautigan's style a lot. He's pretty absurd. And what did I say the other day that was so ridiculous? And I was like, I sound like William Patrick Corrigan from the Smashing Pumpkins, and it made so much sense because I grew up like using a little typewriter to type out Smashing Pumpkins lyrics because I was such a big fan. Like 7th grade, and I do actually think Billy Corgan is part of how I started writing poetry, but I said absurdity is the way that I experience the divine or something like that, which is actually kind of true because I think one of the most comforting things about being older, like history doesn't like repeat, but it rhymes in this way that I think, I've just always like had a way to laugh at things that are going really terribly in my life. Although I was thinking recently, to circle back to the pandemic, that I should just do a timeline of my life from then. Into just like significant things that happen together, because I have a tendency, I think a lot of, I don't know, people who go through whatever, I don't want to talk about it. I think it would just be important for me to look at because it's going to be 6 years, it's going to be 2026, and to like look at it from like a little bit of a distance, because there are just parts now that I think about, and too, like really a lot of it blurs together, and I can't remember a lot of 2021, I don't feel like. But anyway, I know my life is profoundly different because I experienced that event and what it meant for me and my like small business, and how I had to rewrite the story of my entire identity as it related to my professional life and ability to like make money and do all the things that people want to do, because we all want to have like a creative, we are all, or I don't know, I feel like, if I were going to be able to eternal sunshine of the spotless mind, my mind, give myself a selective lobotomy of part of my brain, it would work on the part of my brain, or maybe erase the part of my brain that thinks that I have to have like a fulfilling job title or work that is congruent with my being. I don't know. I have a hard time. I mean, people talk about like autism. People talk about like, I mean, I'm definitely a neurodivergent person, but I'm a person who has gone through like significant, you know, but I think most people who are middle aged have gone through significant trauma. Oh my God. Collectively, we've gone through so much trauma. Like, we need to understand, you know, that we're all operating from sort of, some of us, most of us, from like this neurodivergent perspective. Anyway, why are we, wow. See, this is why we need Noki, because she was always providing like the levity and always like knocking my coffee on me. I don't have that, but I do want to read today. I have a very cute outfit on. I don't think I can show it to you. I have on thigh-high like socks. Anyway, I think that outfits are important when it comes to literacy. I really do. I really do. Thank you for being here. I like to read out loud, so I hope you like to hear me read aloud. I don't have the best pronunciation about anything. I'm just gonna level with you. For a person who likes to read out loud, maybe I could prepare better. Maybe I could do better. I don't know. It's not important to me right now. But I want to read this section. So yeah, this is a really cool book. Postmodernism for Beginners. Let me look, because I need to know. I like to know when things are published. James N. Powell. Oh yeah, and so the other one, I don't know if he wrote the other one that I have, is called Jesus for Beginners. But he also has Martial Arts for Beginners. Eastern Europe. Chomsky. Adler. McLuhan. I'm about to sneeze. Oh, look, I marked stars, but I wanted opera for beginners. But I have Jesus for beginners. I think I just said that. Anyway, this came out, the text is copyright 1998, so, okay. That was very dramatic. I'm very good with sound effects. I won't cut my teeth on Prairie Home Companion. I really wish, like, if I could aspire for this show, I would really love to get, like, Garrison Keillor status of, I'm just gonna think about that for a moment. I hope you at home are thinking about it. I wonder if the person that made the original like videos for even know to look here for this. But anyway, we are 8 full minutes in. I want to mispronounce this French philosopher's name for you. John Baudrillard. And the death of the real. You are wired, the passive victim of TV, computer, and advertising. You are hypnotized by the tube, by the obscene flow of images. You raise your eyelids, a vampiress is kneeling over you voluptuously. The muscles of her neck, the ivory curve of her shoulders, illumined as if by cool moonlight. She licks her scarlet lips like an animal, glazing them with a sheen of moisture, her engorged tongue glistening as it laps the white teeth. She leans closer, you feel her cool breath. Then the sharpness of incisors penetrating your neck. You close your eyes in a languorous ecstasy and wait. Wait with beating heart. I have written here Vampire Mass Media. And then we're going to go on this other paragraph. This, according to the imagery of postmodern theorist, John Baudrillard, is similar to society's relationship to the world of mass media, advertising, television, newspapers, magazines. The era of mass communications invades our darkened rooms, embracing us with its cool, lunar light, penetrating into our most private recesses. We succumb to the fatal attraction, surrendering ourselves in an ecstasy of communication. The thought of John Baudrillard, don't hate me. is part of a new wave of French theory that broke on American shores in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, replacing the frenzy over former waves dominated by post-World War II figures such as Sartre. Just as Nietzsche once proclaimed the death of God, Baudrillard's thought declares the death of modernity, the death of the real, and the death of sex. Baudrillard undermines deep foundations of thought in disciplines such as Marxism, semiotics, political science, economics, religious studies, anthropology, literature, film, and media studies, to name just a few. In May of 1968, while many skirt-clad American women were celebrating No Bra Day by burning their brassiere and other undies, while American hippies were tripping to Purple Haze, Mellow Yellow, and Mrs. Robinson, Parisian youth, backed by communists and other Marxists, took to the streets in a defiant and jubilant mood, creating something between a carnival and a revolution. Parisian universities were eventually shut down by the student strike, and factory workers followed suit. Production and education came to a halt. Under the threat of a radical overthrow of the system, de Gaulle left the country. Where did they say? Sorry, hold on. Whatever, we're gonna. Oh no. Okay. By June, however, it was summer vacation time, turning the would-be student revolutionaries into beachgoers. The workers, encouraged by de Gaulle, returned to their jobs, and things were soon back to normal. Nevertheless, the mass contagion of the movement left deep impressions on some of the participants. One of these was Jean Baudrillard, who for many years to come would still continue to be influenced by Marxist thought, but would feel increasingly that Marxist philosophy is insufficient to explain life in late capitalist societies. So he began looking also to structuralism and semiotics to supplement Marxism. And now we have a question about structuralism and semiotics. And a horse is a horse, of course. Yeah. So, structuralism, semiotics. Let me drink some coffee about this. I'm thinking of a joke that I'm not going to talk about this, so we'll never talk about this. Structuralism, semiotics, yes. At the same time as the student uprising, revolutionary events were taking place in the study of language and culture as well. The Swiss linguist Ferdinand de Saussure argued that meaning in language is not produced by a collection of sounds corresponding to concepts and things. Here's the point I wanted to get to all fucking along. Now we are at 13 minutes. Okay, yes, let's talk about it again. The Swiss linguist Ferdinand de Saussure argued that meaning in language is not produced by a correlation of sounds corresponding to concepts and things. According to Saussure, there is no natural correspondence between the sound horse, the concept horse, and a horse. Rather, he theorized, language is a system of differences, something like the red, yellow, and green lights in a traffic signal. The red, yellow, and green lights gain their meanings only in relationship to each other. A system of purple, blue, and gold lights would work just as well. Semiotics extended Saussure's linguistic structuralism into other realms: myth, fashion, the media, politics, religion. The term devil, for instance, has no meaning by itself. It only takes on meaning as an element in a system of Christian theology myth, where devil is related to other concepts such as God and angel. And I think that's a good stopping point because this is long, but yeah, this is a really good book. I haven't read it in a long time. I just knew I wanted to read that part. Oh, there's a Tom York page. Of course there is. Jacques Derrida. We love him. We love him. I should read this whole thing. Anyway, I'm working on a collage. Whoa! Also working on some postcards. I have to keep it under this bin because the cats will get it. So, yeah. I like how, like, if you can, like, see through, you can kind of see through it. I will be putting, like, I'm now inspired by this idea of putting everything between plexiglass, and so that's what's happening with that. Okay.